We are live, but I haven't got your pictures up for some reason. I'll work on that in a sec. But welcome to the F1 2023 podcast watch along.
Hello, hello.
I'm joined by Pedro and Mr. Saturday.
Hello.
And Miss Sarah Hawkey, who you'll see the pictures of very shortly.
Hello, hello.
Hopefully this will work properly in a second. Doing well on this. If you two want to take it from here for a moment, I'll catch up with a few technical issues.
Okay.
And we will try and enjoy this qualifying session.
Well, yeah. To start off with from me, welcome to the first ever F1 racing scene talk show. We've brought it in for this year.
Hashtag first.
Gonna go for hashtag first, yeah. If you ever want us to see anything on Twitter, hashtag first. But yeah, going forwards, this is a very special qualifying because obviously it's the first one. We couldn't miss it, of course. It's the first one, we couldn't miss it. But going forwards, Mr. Pedro is going to be hosting the first qualifying on Saturdays, also known as Mr. Saturday.
Yes, I'm now Mr. Saturday officially. George Russell, who are you?
Exactly.
Well, you lost that title last year after, at the end of 2021 after being out-qualified by Latifi in the last race or so, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You lost that title.
But yeah, thank you for joining us on this first one, Pedro. And excited to see what you bring to the qualifying streams this year.
Yeah, thank you guys for allowing me to be a part of this. And hopefully I can make you guys proud.
We're a part of this for you. We have the chat's working now, so it's all good. And we've got a first message from Liam.
No.
It says Supermax a pole. I called it here now. So we've got one Max fan in the building already.
Well, that's something to start off with. What's everyone's predictions then? Top three. We'll go for top three.
I think. Oh, that's a toughie.
Shouldn't we go first for the drivers that are probably going to be eliminated? I mean, we could. Technically.
We'll go for top three first, and then we'll go for the first 5 eliminated. Let's do that.
Okay. I'll let you guys go first.
I thought you might. Oh.
You know what? I'm gonna back Alonso this weekend. I reckon either pole or second, maybe.
Ooh. That's something we can never thought we'd hear last year.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
And
so
then
hard not to back him up though.
Yeah, I'd probably say the Red Bulls and maybe Alonso.
Well, Liam says Max, Checo, Leclerc.
Oh.
I'm going to say Max, Alonso, Leclerc.
Interesting.
Oh, bit of debris falling off a Ferrari there.
Never a good sign.
We are, what, 3 minutes into the season and a bit of Ferrari's already dislodged.
Yep.
Wait, is this right? Is Leclerc actually on the mediums?
It's worth discussing. There's new rules for this season for qualifying.
There is.
You have to use the hard tyre, the medium tyre and the soft tyre in Q1, 2 and 3.
But wasn't that just for a selected amount of events?
I thought it was the whole year. Well, if that's the case. Yeah, that would make more sense. Cause, if he's on the mediums now.
Yeah, I believe that's only for a few events while they're testing how it would work.
Okay. I read that rule wrong.
They might be doing this for just to have a banker lap or something. But it's still a bit strange.
We still have to expect the Haas and the Williams to be another bit of Ferrari come off. The Haas and the Williams probably still to take out 4 of the 5 places from Q1, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that Ferrari's just dropping parts.
What was that? Oh, the wheel arch.
Red flag.
Well, that took
Already.
long.
Red flag already. Wow.
Who would have predicted it? 5 minutes in, and we've got a red
5
flag.
minutes in and there's a red flag already. Okay. So interesting. Both Ferrari cars coming out to the track on the mediums.
And losing bits.
Red flag.
This is so strange.
Well,
Well,
that Ferrari does look like it's built on the absolute edge, doesn't it? Like,
yeah.
it's... Mark Brundle used to say all Formula 1 cars should be built to fail at the exact limit of the mileage, but that Ferrari's doing it right at the beginning.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's if that was because of the bumpy. Because some drivers have complained that at the end of the straight, so near the braking zone for turn 1, there's a bit of a bumpier. The track surface is a bit bumpier, so I'm not sure as to whether that could have influenced the outcome.
It's entirely possible.
Perfect. Completely unresponsive, hard lock system. This is great. I finally finished
I guess
the
the red
Intel
flag
Art
gives
Challenge.
us a little bit of time to talk about, I guess, reviewing, testing, bits and bobs like that. So, if you saw any, what was your opinions on the testing this year? I know obviously you can't take a lot from testing because teams want to hide stuff, etc. But is there anyone you thought were doing good? Someone that maybe disappointed you?
That's a you
etc.
question, Pedro.
Okay, so I haven't seen much from testing, but obviously it's inevitable that we'll end up talking about Aston Martin, just because of the a bit of the lackluster season they had last time round, and the fact that they were showing signs of improvement towards the end of the season, and followed up with what seems to be a very strong car for this season. So I think it's the team that everyone will be paying close attention to. No, I guess a bit disappointed with McLaren because they seem to have gone backwards. Obviously, I think it was Zach Brown and Andrea Stella that mentioned that the development targets weren't reached for the beginning of the season. So it's a bit disappointing, even though they said that they were going to introduce those upgrades as fast as possible. Don't really know. Mercedes still looks a bit shaky, even though they had improvements. There were actually, now that I think about it, there were some interesting statements from Lewis. I'm not sure if it was at the end of the FP1 or FP2, saying that the car is still not up to the level it should be, and that the team needs to improve as a whole. Yeah, apart from that, I'm not seeing. Oh yeah, and obviously curious to see what Alpine can bring to the table, as they were the only team that was slower, that put slower lap times compared to last season's testing. So I'm curious to see what their true level is. Yeah, apart from that, I don't think I have much more to add. But what's your guys' opinion on the testing?
Yeah, very similar to yours in that respect. From the bits I did see, I can agree that McLaren they came into it with low expectations, and we didn't really see much in terms of good running from them. We saw parts break off, unfortunately, which hopefully they fixed and I guess upgraded that so it's a bit more durable. But apart from you, Aston Martin was the big standout for me. in terms of their pace. I don't think anyone could have expected that or predicted that from last year. Ferrari, I don't know if you've seen it, but they've got a really wobbly rear wing at the moment.
I'll keep an eye out for that.
Because I saw a clip, I think it was yesterday in the FP1 or 2, that they were going around a corner and all you could see was a rear wing do this.
Oh, Lewis is still wearing some jewellery.
Yep.
Ooh.
He's the only driver out of the 20 drivers that haven't signed or haven't agreed to the no jewellery.
I don't even know why that's a thing, to be honest.
No.
Like, unless it poses a real threat to the driver safety, which I don't think it does in this case. I just don't see a point either on this.
Yeah. But with regards to testing, I think everyone has the same base thought, is where the hell did that come from for Aston Martin?
Exactly.
I mean, it's the only car that was unveiled, if I remember correctly, that was a genuine prototype and not just a evolution of last year's car for the unveiling. And it looked quick. And it looks like a mixture of a Ferrari with the swept side pods and the Red Bull with the cut in at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it was the only car that I thought looked, ooh, interesting. And yeah, it's a shame to see some teams have definitely gone backwards, like McLaren. Williams are still where they were. Haas, I haven't seen much about them, to be honest. Alpine looks like it's probably still kind of best of the rest, but Aston Martin may have gotten either equal or above it. So, testing's been interesting, but this is the session we've all been waiting for.
Yeah. I mean, this session especially, it just starts off this season. Obviously, like we said, in testing you can't really see their true form because of the sandbagging, etc. They're all trying to hide something, or they're all trying to kind of sway teams away from going with similar upgrades.
I find it quite interesting how we've got quite different development styles on the cars. I mean, we had the same thing last year with Merc and the Zero side pod, but it's good to see such variety in the cars.
It is, yeah.
Just their own interpretations of the way that each team is developing the cars, like in a different way.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, here's a question for you two. Which one of the rookies is going to perform best, sort of relative to their teammate? Not relative to the position they get, relative to their teammate. So we've got Piastri against Norris. We've got Logan Sargent against Albon, and I've forgotten the other one.
Nick de Vries.
Nick de Vries against Tsunoda.
In my personal opinion, I'm going to back Nick de Vries against Tsunoda.
I think that's a very sound choice. It may show up Tsunoda quite badly.
Yeah, I think this year is definitely Tsunoda's year to prove.
Yeah.
Especially to AlphaTauri to keep him on for next season.
And yeah, I mean, he's really got to prove himself. He really does, because he's been given a lot of grace by the Red Bull fraternity, hasn't he, Tsunoda?
Yep.
And the other big talking point going into this session, Lance Stroll. What actually happened to him? What happened to his... What injury did he obtain, shall we say?
I think he broke his wrist.
Yeah, was it 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago?
No, it was close to... I think it was close to pre-season testing, just before, like a few days before.
So at the most 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Most.
and he underwent surgery, but apparently he's still struggling quite a lot with, maybe pain, maybe hand strength and whatnot. Because we could see, I'm not sure if any of you saw that footage of him yesterday. One of the corners, he was trying to turn the steering wheel. He literally had to grab with one arm. He had to grab the wrist on the other hand just to make the wheel turn. Yeah, just he even said his engineer at some point said that they should try to improve his lap time by compromising a certain corner or just take a different line essentially. To which he replied that he couldn't because of his hands.
Mm-hmm. And obviously we can't forget that he did have to have minor surgery on one of his wrists.
Yes.
With the other one being quite bruised. So I guess I can't understand why he's been cleared fit to drive, because wrists
Yes.
they're complicated. They don't get enough rest and enough recovery. That could probably screw you over for not just like the rest of the season, but for a long time. For example, like arthritis, etc., like that. So I don't know. I was a bit surprised when they cleared him to drive, considering we saw the clips yesterday, like Pedro said, of him barely being able to hold onto the steering wheel while going through the corners.
I think it comes down to the fact they know Aston Martin know they've got a very good car, and the Stroll family want him to try and have a good result, and I suspect they'll do is they'll painkiller him up a little bit, to, or numb the wrist with some magic spray.
Yeah.
And try and get him through, and that is quick from Alonso.
Alonso, yeah.
But
Yes.
yeah, with regards to Stroll, Webber did something similar about 10 years ago. He broke his broke something in his shoulder, I think it was, and he didn't tell any of the Red Bull management until after the sessions.
Yeah, and obviously we can't forget that recently we found out that Alonso broke his wrist last year and was driving half of the season with broken wrists.
Ooh, Leclerc. Oh, hello.
Only. Whoa, Mercedes, hello?
Mercedes has woken up. Sainz has woken up. Okay, this looks like track evolution. Everyone's just going faster and faster and faster.
Yeah. Let me just say, very impressed with Alonso's lap time.
Yeah, I mean,
Regardless.
this might be the first move he's ever made has actually been at good timing.
Let's hope he does, because, I mean, at least in my opinion, like, no matter what people might think about him as a person and some of his attitudes, which, to be fair, some of them are questionable. As a racing driver, you just can't deny that. Even in his 40s, he's still so talented compared to most drivers.
100%.
Oh, I think Stroll's lap time was invalidated.
Well, he can't turn the steering wheel hard enough. Well, let's face it, if he does manage to get through this weekend and 57 laps of the Grand Prix, Kudos says he might have a problem with his steering. I don't know if you mean with his wrist because of the steering, or with the actual steering mechanism itself.
No, I think it was only due to his injury.
Yeah, because you could see with the onboard video that whenever he was turning, he had to hold his wrist above the steering wheel.
Kudos says the actual mechanism. Well, that would be a double whammy for Stroll. Right, you have to turn it even harder. No.
Yeah, I actually remember them Aston Martin having issues with it last season at the beginning of last season, on which they even asked the drivers just to get their hands off the steering wheel just to see the calibration and everything. So
that's an inherent.
That's actually a good point. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
That's an inherent problem with a Aston Martin then potentially. Okay. Well, we're looking good. Top 7. Looks like it is not as predicted. So this could be game on.
It could be.
It just pains me so much to see the McLarens that far down.
Bear in mind, they did this last year as well. They were like 2 or 3 seconds off the pace because they didn't bring brake ducts which were correct calibration, right size. And then next race, they were back to normal. So
at this point, they might end up like in the last couple of places on the grid.
Yeah.
At least the way things are going. Obviously, let's see what they can do in the next following laps. But ouch, that hurts to see.
Oh, yeah, that is barely off the circuit. That's
Yeah, just wow, that
Okay.
was very straight.
yeah, that's off, but that's tight, isn't it?
Yeah. Just really goes to show like the fine margins of everything around
I know
the sport.
I know I banged on about this last year, but I do genuinely think they should make the curbs, say, the width of a car, and on the other side of the curb there is something like a slither of grass or slither of something that is not going to be good for where the cars want to be.
Like a
If they go on
astroturf
it,
or
they will
something.
lose time.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I love this. I saw this the other day on TikTok. McLaren have animated or
Yeah.
adjustable liveries on the car. That is amazing. I love that.
That's the sponsorship. So near the headrests for on the driver's cockpit, there is actually those mechanisms on which the sponsors rotate from time to time.
Oh, that is going to be great. Look, imagine if they have a victory and they can just put victory across it or something. They could do something, couldn't they?
You could do.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, there's loads of scope for messing around there. They could have a rear wing which says piss off. Or what. They can do whatever they want. Excuse me. They can do whatever they want, couldn't they?
Yeah.
I could.
Imagine if that got hacked. I shouldn't think about this, should I?
Yeah.
They could have a meme window. Okay, Coolio says, also with Stroll again, he might just need to get some strength back in his arm, which would mean he would be fine next week. I would agree and disagree with that. The concept is right, but if he causes himself more of an injury, it just holds him back further.
Yeah.
But am I right in thinking that even if the case, if he decides after this qualifying that he's not, him himself is not fit to race, that that Felipe couldn't go in the car anyway because he would have to participate in at least one session over the weekend?
Yeah. Simply put, yeah. The backup driver needs to have done at least a free practice session. We have a Mandy in the chat saying, "Afternoon, beautiful people."
Hi, Mandy.
Well, yeah, I just don't understand why would Aston like just risk
That was a creepy dog.
aggravating the
It
injury.
wasn't it? That's going to be a meme after the
Just-
session.
I just don't really understand why they would risk aggravating Stroll's injury just in order for him not to miss a race. But I mean, then again,
I
I would have loved to have seen Felipe have a go at this Aston Martin. Just have his chance to prove himself. Would
Yeah.
have been a good opportunity to do so, because let's be real, like, some reserve drivers don't even get the chance to drive for an entire season. So we do wonder how many more times they will actually be able to race or just take part in a race, because obviously they can do it, like they can do free practice sessions, but when it comes to an actual race, and
Oh, yeah,
there aren't that
completely
many
different,
opportunities usually.
Well, we
Yeah.
are still in the times of COVID and injuries and all that sort of thing, so I would imagine the likelihood of having a driver go off is as high as it's been in decades. But it's still only a few percent.
Yeah.
So it's not like if a driver had a big crash, you're having 2 weeks off. Now it's if you catch COVID at a triple header, you're missing 3 races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 6 of one, half a dozen of another, I'm afraid. It's not a great answer, but yeah. With Stroll, I can only imagine it is Daddy Stroll going, "You are racing. We've got a quick car. Race."
Yeah.
And just thinking about it, Red Bull, Mercedes, and to an extent Ferrari are the sort of the top three, and they will progress faster and in the early stages of the year than the other teams. While
True.
Aston Martin have a quick car, they want to utilise it, even if they are probably using the wrong driver.
Yeah, I agree with that. They might want to maximize the opportunities they might get now. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Like Haas last year, getting that big effective win for the Haas team.
Yeah. Alvin is looking pacey out there.
Right, here we go. Final lap of Q1.
Okay.
Who's getting knocked out?
Oh,
Sorry,
hard.
McLaren's. Sorry.
Yeah, the McLaren's just not looking on pace. I'm going
Yeah.
to.
I'm gonna watch Lando actually.
I'm going to say Sergeant Piastri. Ooh. I'm gonna say Hulkenberg. I'm gonna say Gasly. I think Norris
Ooh.
might just pip through.
Norris into 13th.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Norris. I think it's gonna pip through.
Oh, it's not looking that promising though.
Looks like the Haas's are on the way out. Norris down
Yeah,
to
I'm gonna
14th.
I'm gonna go for double Haas.
Just like it looks like Albon's done a cracking time somewhere.
I'm
He
gonna
has.
I'm gonna say double Haas,
Piastri's gone.
and then all of the rookies.
That includes Hulkenberg, as he's technically a rookie. Oh, never mind.
I mean, also
Wow.
just went to say. So,
Right, that spoils my prediction, didn't it?
oh, where did that come from?
He's back.
That's a shocker.
Gasly out.
Jesus. Ooh.
Oh my god, Gasly
Ooh.
out and not qualified by the Williams.
Is K-Mag still on
What
track
happened?
somewhere? Is he
K-Mag
only
is
one,
probably still on track, yeah.
Currently, I think so. Yep.
was the only one who can get Norris out of Q2 then? Although they all seem to be just pootling around at the moment.
Oh.
I imagine he's aborted the lap somewhere because they're not following him.
Oh, I'm seeing him, but he got kind of blocked by a Red Bull.
Which one?
On the to the straight just before the finish line.
Stroll went up to 5th in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, see that?
Okay.
I saw that he set the fastest last sector at some point. Oh, and Magnussen just aborted his lap.
Oh, that's a shame. I'll tell you what, when it comes to liveries, I as you know, I don't overly care too much, but I really enjoy the Williams Duracell battery thing.
Yeah.
That's a good little bit of artistry there.
So,
And what-
it's our first Q1 of the year. We
Wow,
have
okay.
Sargent, Gasly, Magnussen, Piastri, and De Vries that are knocked out.
Tell you what, look at the time of Sargent compared to Norris.
Yeah, not
Oh my god.
It's exactly the
No,
same.
it's the same actually, but Norris said it's before Sargent, hence why he makes it through.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, the time. Oh,
Wow, this is surprising.
what was? Did you see what Sainz's time was? 1 minute 30 something.
30.993.
Okay, that is nearly half a second faster than Leclerc this time last year.
Oh. Let me say, the top
Right.
six,
That was
top
bright.
six
That was really
separated
bright.
by only 2 tenths. Wow, and I just noticed both Red Bulls, Verstappen in 7th and Checo in 10th.
I've always thought at this point during Q1, if you've got a really fast car, you just go out on hard or medium tyres and just beat the bottom 5. That's all you've got to do.
Yeah, just get into Q3.
Yeah,
That's all they have
Yeah.
to do.
yeah. And the Red Bulls seem to do that better than any other team. I always see the Mercedes and the Ferraris always wasting soft tyres at this point. And you're like, why are you doing this? You're clearly quicker than, say, like the Williams and the Haas And then come the race day, they have less tyres to choose from.
Yeah.
If it is that way round, I would expect Red Bull to pick up even half a second in Q2 and 3. But I didn't see what tyres they were on for Q1 there.
Yeah. They were all on the softs, I think.
Okay. Well, if they've all gone onto the softs, then that is... shows the field is a bit closer than what I thought it was going to be then.
I mean, let me just check how many sets of tires each team need. But then again, I agree with you guys. I think they probably just did 1 or 2 laps and just didn't bother. They probably set 1 lap and they didn't bother going out again. But I guess we'll see a bit better in the next session.
We'll have a lap tracker up for next time, I think, so we can keep an eye on how many laps they've all done and what tyres are all on.
Wait, why is Gasly in last?
Did he have his lap time deleted again?
Oh, did he?
Must have done.
Because I think he was 17th or 18th.
Yeah. Let me say, Logan Sargent on that Williams, almost eliminating both McLarens. He was essentially 5/10 quicker than Piastri. I'm not sure what happened to Piastri, like if at any point he got blocked or anything, but
Possibly. I think there's a couple of shout-out performances in that one. What do you guys think? I was thinking Albon, Hulkenberg,
Tsunoda.
and, well, Alonso, and you got to give it to Stroll on this one, but driving with a broken wrist.
Yeah.
He's in one just behind Alonso.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Hamilton 13th. That's a bit weird to see.
Unless you're at Imola last year.
True.
Give him time. I never put too much stock in Q1.
Yeah. No,
But we shall see. It is sad to see K-Mag out.
Sorry?
I was just thinking it's sad to see K-Mag out.
Yeah, just not really. He just got blocked somewhere, I think. On his last run.
Oh, here we go. Bit of a Anthony Davison analysis.
Is that Stroll? Yeah.
That looks like a Williams.
Oh, wow. Wait. Oh no, it's a Williams. Yeah, is that Albon? Might be. Yes, it is Albon. Wow. Look at how close that is.
How would they be looking straight down at a tyre from above?
Don't know. Must have a sneaky camera somewhere.
Oh! The FIA have put, as Brundle was just saying, they put a little black line in between the white line and the curbing. To clearly, if you can see the black line, you're out. That's simple.
I was going to say, that's a
They
handy
just followed
initiative.
your idea, technically.
They
Not
just put it the other side, which makes sense.
Yeah.
They could have it the other side, or well, either way, it works. Yeah. That's incredibly simple.
Sometimes the simple fixes.
Yep.
Like,
Exactly.
I just thought of a James May thing. I'm going to paraphrase him a little bit. It's like Clarkson was talking about how do you stop people going over here, and he went, James May just landmines. They wouldn't go out there, would they?
Yeah.
It would definitely work. Bit extreme.
sad.
I mean, that would definitely be more Mario Kart or Formula E. Which I did get round to watching that last race of Formula E. It was really good. I've got to say that Aston Martin does look good, but you can tell it's got Red Bull influences, can't you?
It looks so much better than last
Yeah.
year's one.
Yeah. I mean, when we've been watching Drive to Survive, of course, and looking at the old Aston Martin, it just looks like someone drew it with a crayon at one bit.
Yeah, I think ever since they switched the halo from the racing green to black, the car just got a whole lot better, and especially keeping that trend for this season. I think even the tone of green is slightly different.
Yeah,
I
that's what me
do
and
really
Midnight was
like
saying
it.
the other day. It looks slightly different.
I really do like it. Okay.
Every time I see a
So
pink car, I expect it to be Perez.
Hmm.
He hasn't been in that car for like 2 years.
No.
It's so nice to have 4 teams going for not even just pole, for like the top 3.
No.
yeah,
And this
and
is unexpected. It's exciting.
it's especially good to see Fernando up there because, like,
Yeah.
as I said like previously, like he's still one of the most talented drivers on the grid.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of
I
experience as well.
I think he really just belongs in those top places, especially with some of the cars he endured throughout the last few seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good to see, and I hope that this trend just this keeps being the trend for the rest of the season.
I mean, yeah, it would be good to see, like you say, 4 teams fighting for some podiums.
It will be down to the development race, and I would expect Aston to fall away. That said, we'll see. This might be a brand new
Yeah,
kind of year. I mean,
maybe.
this is the second year of this rule set where Red Bull are going to have so much less aero time, thanks to obviously them breaking the 2021 budget cap.
Yeah,
We might see them. Well, to be fair, they've got Adrian Newey. I mean, that's a handicap for everyone else. So we shall see. It's going to
We
be
shall see.
an interesting year. And as Coolio said, this is the first. He says I've only seen this once before, as in like 3 or 4 teams going for a pole. I mean, we just haven't seen it in years.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's refreshing and it's good to see. It makes it more exciting.
I haven't seen this since like 2012. And Coolio
Wasn't
says,
that
how was
the season
Cadillac doing?
that had
Yes,
oh Cadillac? Yes.
we'll find out. It's gone all quiet recently, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, Stroll, let's have a look at he's not taking his hand off anymore. Ooh.
Maybe, like you say, maybe there's this one. Take all these, like, paracetamols, you'll be fine.
Pedro, you might know. Do you have any insight on like painkillers and sports performance, and or what would be permitted in such a sport? I mean, they do have drug testing in Formula One, but Jenson Button famously said he was not tested for like 10 years.
Well,
Will they still be able to perform on fairly strong painkillers, or will it be
I mean,
detrimental?
they could. I mean, they could, as it would. Then again, I think it will depend on the how powerful the painkiller was and what sort of
Yeah, and what's in
side
there.
effects it causes.
And also the medication used, because obviously
Yeah, just how quickly it reacts.
they probably have some sort of regulations or something that says a certain medication isn't permitted.
Yeah, I'd assume so. At least in football, there is like they just have like a document with certain like types of medicines and like other
Yeah.
drugs that aren't allowed. So I'm not really sure what it's like in terms of Formula One. Actually, that you pose a very good question there. Okay.
Oh, Luke, you've muted for us.
I just saw Alonso's lap through his helmet cam. Let me just say, very good addition. Really enjoyed it. Good luck from him as well.
Yeah.
Very good luck. Wait, Hulkenberg. Did Hulkenberg set a lap?
I'm not sure yet. Must have.
Okay, interesting. Let me see who's out on track. So everyone apart from Albon is on track at the moment. Oh, wait. Yeah, everyone apart from Albon is on track. Perez, okay. So both Red Bulls already just showing
Yep.
signs of some more pace.
Hey, my mic decided to die there for a minute. Just flat out
Can't
turned
hear-
off.
Yeah, I was gonna say you couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even touch it. Just went, no, not doing any more.
Okay.
I can't wait until... I don't know if you heard me say this or not, but I can't wait until they get those helmet cams. Instead of being low res, but make them HD. So you can actually see near enough what the driver sees. That'd be great.
I'm not sure if they changed the camera too much, but it looked good. I saw from the lap from Alonso's perspective, and it did have some good resolution. Like, I wouldn't say like overly spectacular one, but it did look good.
Oh, we've got Mick Schumacher in the building, who's now obviously
Yeah.
Mercedes and McLaren test driver.
Reserve. No, it's a McLaren reserve.
I call them test drivers, don't I? That's the old term. So, hypothetically speaking, what happens if McLaren and Mercedes have a driver out? I suppose McLaren have got a pool of drivers that they could call on. What Mercedes do
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, McLaren do have access to other reserve drivers, like from other drivers. Let me just try and remember which ones they were. I think Drugovich and Van Dorn could also. Don't quote me on this, but I think at least one of them was also offered to McLaren in case they need a driver.
Bit like Hulkenberg last year. One team have a driver down. Hulkenberg! Okay, so the Red Bulls have started unleashing their pace. Ferrari have dropped off. Mercedes is doing
Yes.
alright. Where's Stroll?
Why is he getting wheeled all the way back?
They must be
Is
having to
it-
weighbridge him.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, he's missed the weighbridge.
Right. So come back here.
Are they allowed to do that? I mean, they're allowed to move the car down the pit lane, but if he misses the weighbridge... Okay. Crofty's saying the FIA are usually a little bit okay on it. As long as they haven't tampered with the car.
Yeah.
Albon might be pulling off something spectacular here for Williams. Oh no, I think something happened during it. Oh, it went off. Okay.
Yeah.
I take back what I said.
No, but it kind of shows that there's definitely pace there to unlock,
In the Williams.
potentially.
In which car?
In the Williams
Yeah.
of Albon.
Yeah. It looks like he's struggling with heating his tyres. And bear in mind, we're at Bahrain. That's... If we have hot races this year, we might get more of a division this year like we have done previously, where some teams have really enjoyed hot conditions and others have hated them, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, the car just didn't turn there.
Yeah, I mean that. Well, that to me just says the tyres aren't switched on.
Oh, he went off. So it would have been invalidated there. Or is it the same as we've seen in previous years in terms of track limits around this corner where you can extend it?
Well, they've been saying that they've been deleting lap times. I would expect it's there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, that's interesting. Track dominance for Verstappen Hamilton. So look, yeah, it looks like the Mercedes is good in the straight bits.
And one corner.
Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to our pre-GP round here tonight because I actually really like this track.
Same. I guess a few deaths will occur around the turns 9 and 10.
with the AI, yeah, probably.
Yep. I mean, to be fair, the AI do frequently just place themselves on top of the curve and end up spinning, so it would be a possibility, actually.
Culios has a different point of view about Albon. He says it could be the tyre pressure. Could be. I mean,
Could be.
Yeah,
pressure is related to heat, so there and thereabouts, yeah.
because then again, obviously, there needs to be a compromise because the higher the tire pressures, the quickly the tires will heat.
Yes.
They can also overheat, which then isn't ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
very short. Yeah. And Culios also says, wasn't it the other way round? Red Bull used to be really good on the straights with the Honda engine, and Mercedes were better in the corners. Yeah, that was last year now. We've moved on.
2023. Dun, dun, dun.
Speaking of that, I actually wanted to discuss this with you guys because Leclerc mentioned during the preseason testing that the Ferrari was now a lot better on the straights than it was on the corners. So just essentially they've improved in the area that they were weak in last year, but then so they essentially reversed on which areas they were good at compared to last season.
Possibly.
And what do you think of that? What do you guys think of that? Any?
Sarah, do you want to take that one?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was interesting to see because obviously in the pre-season we heard news about obviously them trying to find the reliability, which increased the horsepower by, I think it was like 30 brake horsepower or
Yes.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to, I guess, reverse their car, it seems a bit odd because you'd think like with this extra boost of horsepower, although not a lot, but enough, and the reliability, that it would just be a good all-round car, not good in specific points. But yeah, it's interesting to see. Do you think they'll be as strong as they were at the start of last season?
Ferrari?
Yeah, or
No.
do you reckon? Yeah.
No, they don't look it at all.
No, unfortunately, I agree with that.
It's all a matter of the increased
Did you
engine
see
power.
who just went up to third?
Oh,
Did you just see?
Where's that come from? He's on fire
Hulkenberg
today.
is dialed in with the car. Like
Hulk for podium.
Yeah,
I wasn't
I
expecting
didn't
this.
predict that. I didn't predict that.
I thought he was going to be out on Q1.
I was keeping close eyes on his lap, and I definitely wasn't expecting to see this. But he's really dialed in with the car. Will
He
Lando
is.
be able to?
Oh,
Lando goes 8th fastest.
That down to 9th now, though. Leclerc's woken up. There goes there goes the Ferraris.
Yeah.
Ooh, Carlos needs to step it up.
Yeah, it looks like I think Norris is going to be eliminated here.
P3, okay. Oh, unless Stroll can. Oh, Stroll is improving.
Yeah, Norris should be eliminated, but starting P11's not too bad.
Yeah. If he messes up, if Stroll messes up, there's still an opportunity for him to
Just.
say. But
Oh.
That
I think
is
Stroll might
surprising.
get it.
Okay, so that's a 130.2 from Leclerc. Leclerc's woken up, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 tenths.
which is half a second and a little bit faster than Q2 last year.
Ooh, interesting.
And Hulkenberg has come out and he's doing what Magnussen did last year. But
Exactly.
clearly, Haas like having a driver off for a year, then coming back. It works out really well.
I mean, Hulkenberg's case, like, in terms of like a full season, it has been since what, 2019, since he was a driver full time.
True. He did do this race last year, though.
He did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe because that he's just good at this track then.
Could be. Could be. I'm just going to go back to a point Koulias had raised. It was... he was saying about the Red Bull and Mercedes were better in corners, and it changes a lot, and you can increase the speed without affecting your cornering. It's all to do with drag and all that sort of thing. Drag, engine power, reliability. It's not one factor. It's so many factors all combined.
Yeah.
I just had to say that quickly out of the way.
But then again, I always remembered Red Bull for being better in terms of like out and out downforce and cornering ability, and Mercedes for being better in terms of power, at least until 2021.
Yeah.
Essentially.
When the Honda engine got its act together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, Red Bull is still very strong in the corners, but the power improvements they've made with the Honda engine were sensational.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Honda engines, apparently Zach Brown has already had several reunions with Mr. Christian Horner in regards to a possible switch of power unit supplier in 2026. So they'd be on power, just Red Bull powertrain power. So it's going to be different.
Well, hopefully Zach is doing the right thing and just talking to all of the suppliers, not just one or two.
Yes.
And that would be prudent. I mean, you could talk to Mercedes, you could talk to Honda, you could talk to Renault, and you can talk to Red Bull, which is effectively a Honda.
Yeah.
And then Ford, obviously, because Honda is going to be separated from Red Bull. Don't forget, they're going to be like
Red Bull
separate.
powertrain.
And and there's Audi as well, as an engine supplier from 2026 onwards.
True.
Yep.
But Audi wanted to buy out McLaren, so they might be like, "Nah, we're not supplying you engines."
Yeah. No.
I mean, one thing that I really believe, like, these independent teams that aren't necessarily like, that don't manufacture their engines, so essentially, it's like your McLarens, your Aston Martins, your Williams. I think they could all benefit from. I mean, it's a bit of a stick with two wedges, because I think they could really benefit from having an engine supplier that doesn't supply any other teams on the grid, meaning that they'd have like that they could exclusively be working on the development of one engine and just adapt like the entire package accordingly. Otherwise, I think that if they are relying on one of the current bigger just power unit suppliers like your Mercedes, your Ferrari, your they are always going to be a bit limited on the development that those teams make on the engines.
100%.
It is all down to data there as well. The more teams run their engines and power units,
Exactly.
it's a catch-22. But if you have your own project and you're the only recipient, like Renault or Alpine rather, they can focus on exactly what they want to do, but they have a limited data set. So it is catch-22.
Exactly. But then again, we've seen, like, before Mercedes joined as a team on the grid, like, they did have some teams actually supplied by them.
Right, okay. Q3 starts in 1 minute 42 seconds. Last year's pole position was obviously Charles Leclerc. 1 minute 30.558. We're already faster than that.
It's good to see.
Are we?
Ooh, very on the edge there.
Yeah. Are we going to stick with our original predictions for the top 3, or are you guys going to change? I'm moving away from Fernando Alonso in second, but having a good top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially. I'm swaying more towards maybe Ferraris and the Red Bulls again.
Ah,
Oh,
I think it's
sorry.
inevitably. I think it's going to be Max on pole.
Still going with Max. Interesting. I'm thinking the Ferraris are coming back into it, into the question of it. Anyway,
It's just, I don't know. I'm struggling who to decide because from what we've seen, it's kind of like they're alright 1 minute and then they're not for like both teams. It's quite hard to call it at the moment.
very much so.
I think I'm gonna go with Max on pole still. But then I just can't decide whether to put Leclerc in second and check in further the other way around.
I'm hoping for the race for tomorrow we don't have a Max on pole, because as soon as he is so much in that Vettel early 2010s area. If he's out in the front, he's gone.
Yeah. Also, hello Tony. How are you? Thank you for joining us. We're doing pretty good. How are you, Pedro, and how are you, Midnight? How are you doing?
2 thumbs up.
All good.
We're happy to be here.
Yeah.
See, that's the point, Sarah. Is this the first time I've actually appeared on your channel?
In person, probably.
Hi!
Hi.
Sorry, it's a first.
Yeah, and for anybody watching, we are streaming both on my channel and Luke's channel for the race tomorrow. But going forwards, qualifying will be hosted on Pedro's channel, so make sure to go and follow. Oh, wrong way, that way.
Yeah, it's reversed.
Make sure to
That way.
make sure to go and follow Pedro's channel. So yeah, he'll be Mr. Saturday from now on. He'll be hosting the qualifying sessions.
We'll join him as and when.
Yeah, we'll be joining him. So yeah, and then tomorrow, the main race. Looking forward to that.
And we'll be hosting our own pre-GP tonight.
We are, yep. So if you have got F1 2022 and you're available from about 9 o'clock onwards, come and join us.
So yeah, I did remember something. Midnight was talking about it right now. I've seen a stat yesterday that apparently since Abu Dhabi 2021, if I'm not mistaken, was it 2021 or 2020? Max has won 26 out of the last 45 races he took part in.
Pretty high.
Well, if you think of it, it would be a whole season.
But we've had that is a very impressive stat. But we've had similar with Hamilton between 2014 and 2020. The Formula One goes in a cycle where a driver or two dominate, and we're kind of in the Max era. And as impressive as that is,
Could
it's
it be
not
broken
surprising.
this year? Could it be broken?
Well, we will see. That's the question, isn't it? That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Because we don't know the answer, and if we did, we'd be very rich. Right. First run, Q3. Who's going to take first blood? We've got the Red Bulls ahead of the Ferraris and one trailing Aston Martin, which, let's face it, that's probably Alonso being annoying to a Ferrari. It's good to see the old man of F1. He, despite being a utter pain in the butt for so many people and teams and whatnot, he still got it.
Yeah, still got it.
He's been racing longer than, like, I think it was Albon was born in, like, 2002, or one of the drivers was.
Oscar.
Oh,
Piastri. Yeah, and Alonso's been in Formula 1 longer than he's been alive. It's like, what? It's mad, isn't it? Oh, we've got Rose in the
It
chat.
is.
Yeah. Hello there.
Hello.
It is very strange indeed to see a stat like this.
Definitely.
Okay, who is not on track at the moment?
Right. Max
We
taking
have-
first blood with Sector 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think Leclerc's on a warm-up lap. It could be that they are having a warm-up lap.
Potentially.
Mm.
I mean, if Red Bull saved like many, just a few soft tire sets, they might just go for 2 runs in this last session, like
Ooh,
2 runs on like fresh softs.
yeah. Max was very wide on that corner.
Yeah.
Barely touches the curb on the outside on that one, though. Leclerc was fastest in Sector 2, though. Okay. Maybe he wasn't on a build. That's 4 tenths faster than last year's pole.
Damn.
Okay, what does Leclerc do? Oh, 1/10.
Ooh.
And that makes the OCD people very happy that time.
That does that.
1 minute
That's quite
30.000.
Wow, that is fast.
Yeah, it was nice to see.
Okay.
Okay, that was Stroll out on track, actually.
It was.
Doesn't look like he... I think he was like 1.8 seconds, 1.5 seconds. Oh, we've lost you, Pedro.
Sorry, I just have like call.
No worries. It's like, boom, you've gone.
No, it's like they have called like 3 to 4 times now, and I haven't been able to reply because obviously I didn't want to mess up the setup.
I think we need to send you a webcam.
Oh, you've gone again. There you are.
Ooh, signs of a very Larry
Oh.
moment.
Yeah,
That Ferrari does look like a handful.
it does.
Yeah.
Was that the same place he spun in FP1?
Percy
No,
didn't see it.
it was on the turn 10, I think. Turn 9,
Oh,
10.
okay.
It's that
Was he the
really
only
like...
spinner?
What? Sorry?
Was he the only spinner over the weekend so far?
Didn't Piastri spin as well? Or was that just in testing?
I can't quite remember. That's what I was trying to remember as well. Couldn't
I
quite.
do remember seeing Piastri spinning.
Hmm.
Just don't know what session it was. Okay. I'm gonna go on board with Alonso for his lap.
22 years since Alonso made his debut. To the day.
Well, if that, I wouldn't have even been born yet.
Stop it, you two.
I would have been probably 1 year old or close to that. When was the actual like month of his debut? Because I know it was 2001 the year, obviously, but when?
He said 2022
Which
years
month was
to
it?
the day, so now.
Oh wait, so it was. Oh, sorry, didn't hear that.
Yeah, that's right,
Oh,
I'm just saying.
So I think I would be a few months from being 1 year old then.
I'm not going to say how old I was. Just going to leave that one. I'm going to full on ignore it. 15. No, 14. 14. Sod off.
Ooh, a bit awkward of exit there. In the last corner. Oh, 30.34 for Alonso. Okay.
You're about 10 seconds ahead of us, buddy.
Oops.
It's better than previous. It was up to like 45 seconds, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
fair
think my internet is slower as well, which is kind of helping, just reducing the amount of time in the delay.
Well, that's good though.
Yes, sorry
Alonso
about
P4. Hulk only
What, sorry?
1 point. I was going to say Alonso was in P4, but Hulk only 1.1 off a Red Bull. That is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I
good to see
mean,
this.
he'll probably tumble down to. Oh, wait. I think his lap was. I think they were reviewing his lap.
Hopefully not. He's only going to get one
Yeah,
shot
they
at that.
reviewed it. They've deleted it.
Invalidated.
Damn. Well, that'd be P10 then for Hulk. He's not going to get round again. That's a shame.
Oh, what happened to Charles? Isn't he going to do another lap?
Oh.
Out of qualifying.
Not even going to attempt it.
Oh.
Maybe he's saving tyres?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Possibly.
I'm not sure. He didn't look 100% happy.
No.
Well, this is something that definitely needs some explanation.
Yeah, Stroll 2 seconds down on Verstappen. That's not representative.
Yeah, he hasn't even.
Okay, well, at worst, Leclerc is, well, currently P2.
There's obviously Max and Perez on an outlap, so maybe not for long.
Those look like new softs. So,
I'm hoping to see more from the McLaren lads, but they are so close together, I'd imagine that's the ultimate pace.
McLaren
yeah.
lads.
Okay, Alonso's in, he's not moving up.
Did you mean to say McLaren drivers, or
Mercedes.
were you thinking about? Oh, Mercedes. Okay.
Russell and
Because I
Hamilton.
think me, you could see in our faces when you said it. Me and Pedro were just like,
Did I say McLaren? I said it began with M. Began with
True.
M.
very true.
I'm mentoring my Martin Brundle years saying the wrong things.
Let me see if I can find an explanation as to why Leclerc isn't going to take part in the rest of quali.
And no time currently from Ocon and Hulkenberg.
Yeah, Hulkenberg got invalidated, obviously.
Perez is up on Verstappen.
Yeah, I did actually hear Red Bull saying that the car was actually fits both drivers. I mean, should always take that with a pinch of salt, but
Okay.
I mean, from what I've seen, Checo does look a lot more comfortable with the car again. And let's see whether that translates itself into
Verstappen on
Max is
purple sector 2, yeah.
purple. Yeah, 1/10 up. Ooh.
Perez
Perez
is a
still
step
Perez.
up
green though.
on himself.
Yeah, Perez might jump Leclerc, but I'm not sure if.
Sainz is only 72 thousandths behind as well. That's promising. Perez P2.
Oh, Perez is in second. Okay.
Yep.
So it's only Sainz that can get anywhere near them. Where's he going to be? Okay.
Yeah, he didn't improve on that lap. Oh, fourth place.
It's promising though. It's sad to see the Mercedes drivers 6th and 7th, but
7th, yeah. Oh, Russell out qualifying Hamilton then.
yep.
Okay. Yeah. Right. This man we are seeing on the screen is something else, isn't he? At the moment.
Seems to be.
Like, it's always like this. Like, we always put our hopes up and expect someone else to get pole position, but then at the last gasp, he always manages to pull something out of the bag and get pole.
Obviously, the race tomorrow. If he wins, will it be the Bahrain curse, or will he break it?
Well,
He's got to win first to get there, so we'll figure that out.
yeah.
It's a question that will be answered much later in the season. Okay. First qualifying session of the year. Got quite tense for a little while, and then it devolved into a Red Bull domination.
Yep.
But not by a significant margin that I'm worried for the race. What I always get upset is the wrong word, but disheartened by during the race is we often get some of the mid teams and the lower teams who have a good qualifying. They're only, say, 1 second away from the Red Bull, and then the race they're 2 or 3 seconds a lap off the Red Bull. I'm hoping, with the regulations the way they are, the race pace keeps the teams closer together from now, and it will limit the strategic options of, say, the front runners. So if they get back into the pack, it's a real problem, rather than just breeze on past them all.
Yeah.
Sadly, that wasn't much what we saw last year. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see why Charles Leclerc wasn't participating in that final run.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to see if I can find the. I'm trying to find if someone has mentioned anything about it.
Could it potentially been what we saw right at the start with the part falling off? They didn't want to push it necessarily.
But with this frustration, I think there might have been an issue with the car, possibly.
With reference to what you said there, Sarah, I would be more thinking mechanical rather than aerodynamic, because primarily it would affect the tyres, not the ultimate downforce, but like tyre life and tyre wear, so they'd probably just try and push through it.
Yeah.
If it's mechanical... Oh, here we go.
I mean, they are looking good, but then, I don't know. Considering what we saw them do at the start of last season, they seem to have matched it, if not a little bit less, if that makes sense, to what we saw last year.
Who was, sorry?
The race could be completely different. I was saying that the Ferraris, they don't seem on par to what they were last year at the start of the season.
No. And given the fact they develop a little bit slower relative to some of the other teams, that makes me worried for them.
I mean, let's see if that trend switches with obviously the changes in management and this in general. But yeah, based off those trends, like I don't know, but as you've mentioned earlier as well, like just the fact that Red Bull are going to be limited in terms of development this season might might shake things up as well. It will just depend on how much Red Bull can develop their car, like at the beginning of the season or just before they reach the limits in terms of the development.
Yeah, potentially. We could see them get slower upgrades in a way, but that wouldn't. Am I right in thinking that wouldn't affect them for a while?
Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say it depends on how they manage their money and whatnot. Because they could, and this is what I would do, is bulk out the entire beginning of the season and just stop early. Stop midway through the season, so they bring all of their upgrades by, I don't know, halfway through the season, so France, that sort of thing. And then just,
France.
yeah. So,
France isn't on the calendar, is it?
I'm thinking of last year's calendar, aren't I? What's midway? It's about Silverstone, Canada, isn't it?
Let me check actually.
I forgot France was off this season.
Schedule, let me check. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 10.
Good for Checo. Great result for Checo this weekend.
Yeah.
Well, it should be around Hungary or Belgium.
I wouldn't be surprised if they, regards to Sarah's question, bulk out the entire beginning of the season, just go get all the points they can early on, and just finesse the car in terms of setup for the rest of the season. Because by that point, they're probably well ahead.
True.
Yeah.
So you might find the other teams at the end of the season completely come alive, but too late. We'll see.
Yeah. We will see.
That picture of Max is menacing.
It is.
That is worth saying as well. That the Pirelli tyre, it's a new construction. It seems to be a little bit quicker.
Potentially.
Yeah.
And there was talk of making the hard tyre a bit more speedy, as well as durable.
Yes.
So
And
you might
obviously
see,
we've got the new full wet
tyres.
tyre testing,
Yep,
where they're not going to
Yeah.
need blankets,
yep.
which will be interesting to see. Although one driver in particular already doesn't seem to be a fan, which is Hamilton. He doesn't seem that it's really worth it, and it's unsafe because obviously it could potentially cause a few incidents if not done correctly.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same with a lot of them. What else? They were talking about, the FIA were talking about putting IndyCar style rear diffusers is the wrong word. Bumpers is the wrong word. I can't think of the actual term. But it was like rear guards on the back tyres to reduce the spray.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that as well.
What a type of like mud guard?
Yeah, kind of, but a bit more. It looks. IndyCar had it was like a box on the back, angled as a slightly more aerodynamic piece, and it looks like you got on the back of the gearbox, you got that protruding box. It's like that, but a bit boxier. That's a very poor way of describing it, but generally speaking, it's accurate.
Yeah.
But this is Bahrain. We're a very long way away from wet races.
Hopefully, yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to see it tomorrow.
Yeah, I know you would.
I always like to see weather racing. It's fun.
I mean, you could technically see it today at the pre-GP.
I know, that's what I was thinking. There might be a little bit of a screwball thrown in there. I'm not. We're going to set it to automatic.
Yeah, I was going to say, at least let me try and survive one race. Please.
Just don't take me out, all right?
No promises.
Yeah, I got double teamed by yourself and George Russell at Austin. That was
Just
fun.
don't play bumper, and then just don't play bumper cars with Sarah when you enter the pits.
Shush.
Yeah.
That was Mexico.
If
That
I'm
was
in
later
front
on.
of you,
That's payback.
slow down a tad.
And also, may I say, I'm the one who ended up with a penalty for that one. So boned me twice.
Yes, and rightly so.
Hey, I was just going into my pit box at full speed.
Yeah.
Exactly, at full speed.
Good times. Oh dear. Right. Do you two have anything to say regarding the qualifying session?
No, excited for the season ahead, to be fair. In general, I think it's kind of at that point in the moment where it's very unpredictable. Not easy to guess, like, results or anything like that. Too far ahead to even guess who will be, like, the championship winner. But I'm just excited in general after watching the first qualifying. I think it starts the season really nicely and gives us all like, oh, what's gonna happen, sort of vibes, which is good to see.
All right. Red Bull
New
looking strong
season,
though.
yeah, new season, new drivers.
Yeah. Which one of the rookies did best? Hulkenberg, technically.
I was hoping. Yeah, but out of those, it was Sargent,
Sergeant.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
I believe. Let me just double check the results. I think it was him. Finished P16.
So all of the rookies went out, basically. Q1.
Obviously, P16, but let's not forget, with the same time as Lando, he only didn't make it through because he set the lap after Lando did. So,
yeah,
and even then, like, fair play to Lando for dragging the McLaren almost into Q3.
almost.
Almost.
Maybe it's just a replay of last year, like Midnight said earlier, where McLaren are just going to be a no-show really for this race, and then hopefully they'll
Yeah.
they'll come back fighting a little bit. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think we can hope for it. I mean, this is only race one, qualifying one, so we will see how it develops throughout the year. But other than
Apparently,
that,
they already have a development package that should be introduced in the car soon. So let's see if
Oh.
they manage to implement it as quickly as possible, so that they are actually competitive.
does anyone else keep getting blinded by the adverts?
Yeah, it's always the white background ones that are like.
Yeah. I'm having a HDR monitor now. I just get blinded every time a big white background comes on. Just wondering, got any white cars in F1? So that'd be a pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not bright white cars anyway.
Well, it won't be this year with all the paint being stripped off. A lot of them again.
True. Oh yeah, that throws the question out. Obviously, me and Pedro did the livery tier list, and obviously you've seen the cars on track today. Out of all of them, which is your current favourite?
Ooh. I like the Aston Martin, but it's the kind of green that I think it would have been better suited if they'd gone with like the Jaguar green in the early 2000s. I loved that green car. If I went for the colour scheme, I'd say that one. I'm glad Ferrari have gone back to their more traditional scarlet red. I don't overly care for the Mercedes black. I mean, it's fine. Oddly enough, the Red Bull is consistent in its scheme. It does the same thing as it always does: a little bit red, a little bit yellow, and purple.
Yep.
But out of a lot of them, I'd probably go for the Ferrari. It's easily distinguishable. It's scarlet red. It's iconic, and the car looks good too.
Yeah. Pedro, what about you? After obviously reviewing them for the tier list, but obviously seeing them on track today.
I mean, I don't think my order is gonna change, but I must confess that I think the Williams looks a lot better on track than it did on the renders.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think the McLaren actually looks a lot better as well on track. I already liked the livery when they just did the event, just the livery reveal. But I think on track it actually looks even better. And apart from that, obviously the Aston Martin, just for me, as I said on when we did back then, just possibly one of my favorite liveries for this season.
Yeah.
And apart from that, I think the rest of it, like I'd agree with Midnight as well, what he said.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Same. Same to be fair. But yeah. Any other thoughts you had on qualifying today?
Personally, I'd say it's good to see that the top 4 teams aren't a million miles away from each other. But it's going to come down to race pace.
Yep.
And also remember, if you qualify first, you qualify ahead of 19 other people.
Alright, Will Buxton. Alright.
Well, for me, I think I'd have to say Gasly was a big disappointment for me.
Yeah.
Because even if his lap didn't get invalidated, he would have still been knocked out. Who else? I don't know. Just I'm really happy to see Alonso up there. Stroll was actually impressive considering the state he's in at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, Hulkenberg was impressive, like in all 3
Yeah.
qualifying sessions for me.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't predict that one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Hulk, that was an epic performance.
Shame that his last time got deleted, but
Yeah.
apart from that,
Yeah, that is a
Pretty
shame,
good.
but those are the rules.
True.
It's a shame to see McLaren and Alpine off the pace again, but McLaren did this last year, so I'm not overly worried yet.
yet.
I'm gonna say that I think now Aston Martin is, in terms of qualifying pace, where Alpine was last season. Sort of thereabouts.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
The Mercedes, they weren't exactly super impressive today.
No, yeah, same
Well.
to be fair.
So I don't really know what to expect from them.
I think because a lot of people thought they were sandbagging, but it's almost like they haven't, even in the qualifying, they haven't kind of shown us what improvements
What they
they've
can
kind
do.
of made. Yeah, and what they can do.
I am glad that even at the end of qualifying, though, that only 5 to 6 tenths off.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year it was over a second. It was a second-ish, wasn't it? At very least they were
Probably a good
bouncing down the
second,
pit
yeah.
straight, and it was like.
Yeah.
But you can still see that there's like Red Bull, Ferrari, and kind of the rest. But they are a lot more closer now. I do agree. Yeah.
Would you say currently that if you had to order the top 4, what order would you put them in?
Teams or drivers?
Teams. For me personally, I'm thinking Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Aston. And then, although I might swap round Aston and Mercedes, depends. I'll make a decision tomorrow.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna agree with you on that one, Sarah. But with the proviso that yeah, it's because of Stroll being a little bit handicapped at the moment, and we don't. I do think the Aston Martin race pace might be better than the Mercedes, though. We'll see.
Could be.
Pedro, thoughts?
I mean, I think Aston is going to follow that trend that they had towards the end of last season, on which they were a lot better in terms of race pace than they have in qualifying terms. So I'm definitely curious to see if all these expectations, especially regarding the preseason testing, will end up materializing themselves. And for Mercedes' sake, hopefully their race pace is a lot better than what the qualifying results have shown today. Otherwise, I think they'll just have to do massive changes. There were rumors that they had kind of a B spec car already in development in case this current concept doesn't work. Lewis went on the press and denied that, but you'll never know. He might just be bluffing, or might
Yeah.
actually be true.
We'll
Don't know.
see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
we don't know yet.
Either way,
Uh,
I've got something to say quickly.
Well,
Absolute shout
yeah,
out
yeah.
for the absolute legend that is Nico Rosberg back on the grids this year.
oh yeah.
Hashtag is
Yeah.
Lewis's career over.
I actually really liked him when he filled in at the Hungarian GP. Was it in 2021? I think it was.
Oh, he was in the commentary box, wasn't he?
He was. Like, I just think he was a breath of fresh air for that race. It's really good because he gives just a really detailed, like, technical insight and everything. And I think he's better at passing as well that perspective from, like, the driver's experience during the race than probably other people.
Especially in
as
the modern
well.
era. It's all
Yeah.
very well having the ex-world champions and Damon Hill and Jenson Button, but Button's been out of it since actually less time than Nico.
Yeah,
So he did that one GP for Alonso in Monaco, I think 2017.
he did.
But either way, it's within like 5-6 years.
I have already.
It's about 7 years since Nico won the title. It goes quick.
Yeah.
That's 2016. Anywho. Right, any more further roundup? So I think we've covered most things, and it's
I think we pretty much covered it, to be fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's on to the pre-GP and the actual race tomorrow now, isn't it? I mean, Formula One's back.
It is back.
Yes.
It's back for 2023. I can't wait for the "It's lights out and away we go."
As long as it's not lights
Yeah.
out and away we go, and they've crashed,
Yeah, and boom.
then that'll be the pre-GP.
But yeah,
Oh,
just
yes.
before we wrap up things, yeah, obviously just reiterating that going forwards, Pedro will be hosting the qualifying on Saturdays for race weekends. Excited to see him do his thing, and obviously me and Midnight will be dropping in when we can, and showing our support, and obviously you should as well, everyone. So go follow Pedro.
No.
He's in his streamer era, so it's good to see. But yeah, and then it'll be me and Midnight for the GPs on the Sundays, with a few special guests here and there. But yeah, welcome to 2023 season. Excited to host it with Midnight, and obviously Saturdays with Pedro as well. So yeah, excited for this year. I'm excited to see what we can do.
Looking forward to it.
Well, your clip is playing behind your head, Pedro.
Oh,
Which clip is it? Is it like GTA?
GTA, yeah.
It had to be.
I've got lots of clips of you two on GTA.
Yep.
My favourite is when I shredded Sarah with the Apache helicopter, the rotor blades.
Yeah, I'll never
Twice.
forget that.
Oh no.
Oh, you gotta laugh.
But
Right,
yeah, obviously, I don't know if you have it on your stream, Luke, but we have also got a Twitter account called Nighthawk Racing, where if you want to post content towards there and tag us and stuff, we both share that account. So if you want, we can both see it. So for example, any memes after the race or before the race,
during the
or
race.
anything, or during the race, exactly. If you use the hashtag F1rst,
First.
yeah, also reads first, we'll be able to see it. So yeah, make sure to use that hashtag or tag the page in it, and so we can see. And yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it all up. So,
It does. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
On that note, Pedro, have fun hosting the qualifying from here on out.
Yeah, and thank you guys once again for giving me this opportunity as well.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you.
We look forward to it, and we will drop in as and when we can, and go from there.
Yes.
And on
Yeah.
that note, I'm going to
This has
say,
been, yeah, really fun and a pleasure to host alongside you two. And that has been episode 1 of F1 Racing Scene Talk Show, the qualifying. So, yeah,
in Bahrain.
exciting year ahead. Let's go.
Let's do that. Right, I'm going to call an end to my one, and we'll see you all going forwards.
Yep.
Yes.
Right.
Obviously, you're streaming on both mine and Midnight's channel, and posting content over on Twitter. So make sure to go follow us both and the Twitter page if you have Twitter, or yeah, just tag us in stuff so you can see it. We can see it during the race.
Let's do it. So,
Other
all
than
right.
that,
High fives to you two. I don't know which side you are on. So,
Oh my god, this is gonna be a nightmare. Wait.
Pedro's gonna have to do. Oh my.
I look like I'm defending you in something.
Boom.
Are you both to my left? Are you both to my that side? No, wait, shit. I don't know which side. Oh, high five. Bye.
Pedro has the easiest job here. He
Yeah,
literally just has to do that.
I'm right there, so I just need to do boom.
I'm just going to do the screen. Job done. Right. Thank you all.
Ouch,
See you all
that
again
hurts.
for the next one.
Qualifying for the pre-GP, so be there or be square.
And on a note, laters.